Last time on The Piggy Gamer, we learned basic tutorials and met up with Zelda. We found out that our Loftwing is missing, so now we've got to go find it by looking around Skyloft. After we tell Instructor Horwell to meet with Guy Pora, we are given the freedom to explore Skyloft. While there are some sectioned off areas, you could hypothetically explore about half of the town. However, there isn't much you can do to get sidetracked. This part is constructed in a way that while you could skip most of the dialogue to get to the next objective, you'd have no cue to do so unless you'd played the game before. This encourages you to speak to every character, learning about their personalities, while also getting a better understanding of your next objective. The first new character you meet, just 10 feet away from Instructor Horwell, is Karain, who is found waiting in front of the door because she wants a man to open it for her. It's immediately apparent that this is not a character to be taken very seriously. It's a shame that she's so one-dimensional, because I really like her design. The way her hair goes with the beret and uniform just works well for me. She then tells Link to ask Pippet for help, sending you to meet your next character. Pippet strikes me as a character a lot like Percy from Harry Potter. He obviously feels as if he's on a higher tier than Link and other underclassmen, but because of this he feels that it's his duty to help him and others. Although I know a lot of people don't really like Percy, I found the fact that he's so full of himself yet so willing to help others kind of endearing, and that carries over to Pippet as well. His design's nothing special, but he is well built, which makes sense given his character. On your way out the door, you can talk to Fletch, who obviously knows more than he's letting on. We've met Fletch before, but I didn't say much about him, so let's just go over his character now. Fletch makes me think of Neville Longbottom. He's a nice kid, but he's very weak and has very low self-esteem, making him an easy target for bullies. This is reflected in his design as well, with Fletch having a scrawny body and two circles resembling blushes on his cheeks, making him constantly look embarrassed. At times it can be a bit annoying just how pathetic Fletch is, but I will say that it's very rewarding to see him grow as time goes on. Your next destination should be the town plaza, as suggested by Pippet. On your way there, you are interrupted by Goalie, an annoying kid with one of the worst designs in the game in my opinion, who teaches you how to roll. Traditionally, in Zelda games you roll by pressing A while running, but because the A button is now used to sprint, you now have to shake the nunchuck. Unfortunately, this practice of using motion as a button is a very common practice with the Wii, but because there aren't too many buttons on the Wiimote and nunchuck, that's just what they kinda had to do. Although, to be honest, did we really need to roll in this game? I can only remember a handful of instances in which rolling was necessary, and those seemed shoehorned in. Perhaps it would have been better if rolling had been completely replaced by sprinting instead of having both. Once you get to the plaza, you are introduced to 3 new characters: Colin, Stritch, and Groose. Colin and Stritch are essentially Groose's henchmen that always seem to be on either side of him, kind of like Crab and Goyle, to keep the Harry Potter theme going. Both look extremely ugly, but I think that's what the developers were going for, so I guess that's good? Groose, however, is at the center of attention. As he boasts to his friends about how he managed to trap a certain Crimson Loftwing, you can already tell that this guy is a pretentious bully, inside and out. Kind of like the teenage version of Gaston from Beauty and the Beast, and his theme exudes his personality. He also looks like a total jerk, with a body like Johnny Bravo's, over-exaggerated facial features, and like the worst hairdo ever. He goes on and on bullying Link, even saying dopes like you are dragging our honored academy through the mud. Luckily, Zelda steps in and confronts Groose, defending Link. Groose, however, is too enthralled to comprehend what Zelda is saying, and instead decides to leave in the most swag way possible. Groose is a jerk, there's no questioning that. Yet somehow I can't help but love his character. To me, this is an example of a likable antagonist. Groose is an awful person, but I still like him because he's such a hilarious character. Zelda leaves soon after to continue the search. The entire scene is expertly directed, with changes in perspective, close-ups, the whole lot. After that, you can make your way toward the statue of the goddess as suggested by a nearby NPC. Link will be interrupted by Pippet, who says that Fletch has some information about Link's Loftwing. Fletch then confirms our suspicions that Groose had stolen the bird, and tells that it was near the waterfall. But before we're ready to go save our bird, Pippet advises us to borrow a sword from the Knight Commander. Oh yeah, this'll be fun. Although we are given control of Link for most of this part, the gameplay certainly isn't rich. Instead, we are encouraged to walk around Skyloft and take it in for ourselves, experiencing the game through the world and characters in it. The previous part of Skyward Sword felt very much like a traditional Zelda game, with the lore, epic cutscenes, and setting on, an island in the sky. But you find out that in this next part, it resembles more of a high school drama than an epic. And it makes sense why people were wary of this type of setting. Zelda should be about solving puzzles and fighting monsters, not about being bullied at school. However, the reason why I love the setting so much is because it shows Link in a situation that everyone can relate to. Link is supposed to be the link from the game to the player. Because Link is in such a common situation, it becomes much easier to suspend your disbelief and become immersed in the game. But what do you think? Do you think we should have come across our first dungeon by now? Let me know in the comments below. And if you want to see more episodes of this review series, hit that subscribe button. Alright, bye.